Hey everyone, welcome to Boss Run, a video game podcast starring me, your host, Billy Housh. This week, we're going to talk about my final impressions of the Gears of War E-Day beta, which I finished up. I think there's still like a day left to it this weekend. It ran for 2 weeks, 2 weekends, essentially. The first weekend, and this is common ground for most of these beta/demos that they've been putting out. So yeah, last week was for people who have pre-ordered it or have Game Pass. And then this weekend was the open beta weekend. I for sure felt it was more of an actual beta test this particular weekend when they added more players to it. There were some matchmaking issues where people would all drop and then I would just be in a match with bots. And this is playing the Horde mode. I primarily played the Horde mode of Gears of War instead of the versus. And there's a lot of like memes going around about the versus being incredibly hard and like people just like jumping, mantling throughout the map very quickly and then shotgunning people to the face. That seems to be the meta of how the optimal way of playing it, which isn't that fun. The Horde mode is awesome. I would say that I am definitely excited about this game being released. It comes out October 6th, but early access, once again, for people who I'm assuming pre-order. I don't think it's going to be for people with just the Game Pass version. That comes out earlier, October 1st. Yeah, so how I got my fill of playing through the E-Day was they had these challenges for the beta where you can unlock skins for both your guns and for one of the characters that are exclusive to the beta. And the beta had a very nice touch to it because the initial, I guess, menu screen, the background to the menu screen is like one of the, I think they're called COG, the Gears Marine guys, helmets laying somewhere with like a bullet gone through the helmet, like bullet damage on the helmet. And then it turns out that once you hit one of the challenges, which is to get to level 20, get your player to level 20, you unlock the skin that is that helmet and the suit with the battle damage on it. So I thought that was like a really cool little touch just to the beta. The game itself, the core mechanics of Horde mode are awesome. It is such a fun player versus environment game. It's a lot of fun with your squad, as long as your squad is working together and deciding on like always together so they can revive each other and focusing on challenges or parts of the map so they don't get split up. If you get split up, like there are some issues besides the actual core gameplay mechanic of like the actual like movement and the shooting and all that stuff is just perfect for me who is relatively new to the Gears series. So I don't know if like veterans might not like some of these aspects of it, but I digress. It is a lot of fun to play it. This Horde mode where it's like a big persistent map that squads get dropped in. I think it's like 4 squads get dropped into one instance at once. And you cross paths as you work on your different objectives where you can help each other and you can revive each other. So that whole aspect of it's really cool. This feeling of just squads in one big war against these locusts or whatever the alien things. Also like the different enemies and how you have to fight them and like the boss variants of them and how like the bigger dudes are like, it's like a puzzle, like a shooting puzzle of like shooting off bits of their armor to expose and then making weak spots and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun. It's great. However, there's some issues with I would say there's some issues with the UI and different ways of like, for sure, like I said, the second weekend I had problems with matchmaking where suddenly I would get thrown out of a match and then like reappear in another team's match, like fill in, but I would be like glitched. So I'm holding this huge Gatling gun inside of like the waiting room. It just like, there was some really weird stuff going on that I hope that this beta lets them iron out. But it's like weird stuff that I remember from like happening during PlayStation 3's like Battlefield 4 tests or Battlefield 3 tests or whatever it was. Like it's some like genuine jank that I hope isn't in the final version since it's coming out in October. Stuff with like the UI, it was confusing at first because I didn't realize who is on my squad and who are the people from the other squad. They don't really unify the like the color schemes were very like strange for me. Like even playing versus mode. So if in the versus mode, either you're like the human people or the alien people. Okay. So it makes sense. That's clear. But it's different from Call of Duty where no matter what team you're on, it shows like green player tags above the names of your teammates and then red player tags amongst on top of the names of people that are on the opposing team. Whereas in this game, if you are the locust, if you are the alien people, all the signage, everything is red. And then the people you're supposed to kill are green. I had no clue what was going on at first with that. That really confused me. Also, when you spawn into these persistent large maps, you really have to start taking note of like which squad you are. And yeah, in the corner, it'll have like a insignia or like the badge or patch of your squad, which will be one color. And then you'll notice that the people that are on your team have that particular color, whether it's like purple or green or red or what have you. So you really have to take note of that. Like it's not clear with like, if you're not looking at color, like a different type of symbol or something like that. So you can really distinguish who is who or what is what. That I found was confusing. Some of the elements of like the UI and the HUD disappear on you, or like you have to be in the proximity of certain objectives to pop up. So for instance, if you like start a mission where you have to like blow up 5 different intercoms that are spread out in that area, it'll show like markers of around where they are and how many meters are away right when you activate the mission, but then that disappears and you just have to run in that direction. And as you run in the direction, it'll kind of like show you that icon again that you're close by. Some confusing stuff like that I'm just not used to from all the different that seem to be more unified amongst other third person or first person shooters. Like there is no like, what are they called? Like, you know, like the compass bearings at the top of the screen where they usually will give you like little objection markers of where you have to run towards to get that next marker. That's not really there. So like, or like how Call of Duty has a little like map HUD in the corner of the screen that shows you where sometimes like other, the direction of like other players, team players are, and then where some enemies are. None of that stuff's there. So like you really have to be wary of where your squad is and like stick together with them. Otherwise you just like, you won't know where they are until like they die or you have to revive them and then that icon shows up. So like that stuff, like, I don't know if that's part of the design. I kind of got used to it. Just like I got used to the controls. I got used to the controls now and now they feel good and they're intuitive. maybe I still might experiment making it closer to what I'm used to with like playing Call of Duty or Battlefield. But I essentially made my same builds that I do with all the games. And like, I'm a big like stim pack user. I like any character or class that has like you can like quickly like half revive yourself or give you a boost of health and stuff like that. So I usually always play with that. But then I've been running around with I forget what the names, they're iconic names. So if you're a Gears fan, you'll probably be like slapping yourself being like, come on, man, you got to know these. So like the basic rifle that is that has like a chainsaw attached to it, that's awesome. And I like running up into people's faces and hitting them with the chainsaw. I use the assault rifle, so like mid range can like try to get some headshots, or if there's those big brooder dudes that have like helmets and like shields and stuff like that, like armor on, I like picking them off with that assault rifle. And then I carry this I think it's called the Incinerator, where it's this big gun that you get like 12 shots or 12, maybe it's like 12 clips or something like that. And it just shoots this like acid sludge, and like smaller enemies, it's like one shot, you hit them, and then there's like a 2-second delay, and then they just explode and die. And they're really good on those big bosses and brutes. Like they take off a lot of health when you do that. So I've been playing with those two weapons, and I like use the weapon mods and the progression system. Like that's what I noticed when they first like unveiled the multiplayer in a gameplay video, was they showed the progression system, and there's something there that is like, gets you into the loop and encourages you to play more and more. Like I enjoyed playing through this for the challenges and to be able to get new weapons mods for the different guns and souping them up. And each class, there's a bunch of different classes that as you level them up, you unlock more perks and stuff for it that make a big difference. And like the progression's really good to get you into being a higher level player in the Horde mode. So overall, I would say I have a great great impressions on this beta. I enjoyed it quite a bit. Really looking forward to the game in October now. And once again, like apparently they're like, this game is the campaign is supposed to be the main part of the game. So that's going to be cool playing through that. Hopefully they can optimize it more, because I know there's a bit of complaints, and I mean, it looks great on my computer. But still kind of expect a little bit more performance on it. Like I'm pretty sure I'm running everything maxed out. But I have it to use dynamic resolution to make sure it's minimum 60 and then up. I haven't really used a counter on it to see like a FPS counter to see what actual frames per second I'm getting, but it's running great enough for me, and I'm like enjoying the visuals and stuff like that. It's pretty steady and stuff. It gives me a lot of the Warhammer Space Marine 2 vibes. I get a lot of that playing this game, except like I'm enjoying the gameplay a lot more. The Horde mode is just a lot of fun. So yeah, I mean, you probably missed, like if you haven't tried the beta, it's pretty much over, but I'm sure there's lots of footage and stuff out there for it. And something to look forward to in October. Another game for this crazy, as soon as September hits, it's going to be really, really crazy. And that's essentially it. We are once again like it's like the quiet before the storm. And it's not bad, even though I'm kind of like, there's not one particular game I'm like locked in and really enjoying this August, which is fine by me, because we're going to get a lot of like of these beta tests. Excuse me, my throat's getting kind of scratchy and dry, But I digress. So the only game I've been like just picking away at is that I still like kind of play the Beasts of Reincarnation. I heard you can just finish the game in 20 hours, so I probably will get to finishing it this August, like if I play it during the week. But yeah, it definitely feels like a lesser Stellar Blade Nier Automata type of game, which is fine for a Game Pass game. And it seems like a great game that in a year to show up on PlayStation Plus. So I wouldn't pay a full price for the game, but it's still not that bad whatsoever. And I think once it's in like the budget pricing, I think it's going to become like maybe like a cult classic or whatnot. But yeah, I'll probably be playing that during the week. And I think there's going to be some more game news coming down the pipe. I know for sure. Well, like in Germany, it's the Gamescom. That's their big like E3 type of event. So we should get some announcements or more footage from upcoming games or whatnot. Nintendo, I think sometime soon, possibly this week, I'm guessing, Nintendo is probably going to have a direct that shows the actual gameplay for the Duskbloods, that new FromSoftware game, exclusive game for the Nintendo Switch 2, made by the makers of Elden Ring and Dark Souls and whatnot. Because this weekend is going to be the Duskbloods online beta test. So I'll be able to try that Friday, August the 21st. So that beta, I know that they said that on the 18th, so in 2 days. So I'm guessing, what is that, Tuesday? On Tuesday, you're able to preload. So if you were selected, which most people who applied are selected, to be in the Duskbloods online beta stress test for Nintendo Switch 2, on the 18th, you'll be able to download the files for that game on your Switch 2 to get ready. And then on August 21st, so this upcoming Friday, until August 23rd, which will be the Sunday, you'll be able at, I think, specific times, test out and play the Duskbloods. And that's why I'm thinking they're going to, before that happens, probably early this week, maybe tomorrow or Tuesday, I can see Nintendo releasing some footage that just like explains what the game is or the what to expect in this stress test. Now, another big game that will be having a beta test this weekend is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. That's going to be Friday, August the 21st. So this is weekend one. And they're doing this similar to a Gears of War E-Day, where the first weekend, which is longer than Duskbloods, it's from August 21st all the way to the 25th. So until Tuesday, that's for anyone who pre-ordered the game, or if you have Xbox Game Pass, you'll be able to play this weekend. So I have the game pre-ordered. I do have PC Game Pass, but I have the game pre-ordered on Steam. So I'll most likely just play whatever version that they let me download on Steam. And there's a level cap of level 20. You can play until level 20 in the first weekend. There's going to be 3 core multiplayer maps. And also, and this was like the big, I don't know, this was kind of like their Microsoft, Activision's big surprise announcement. I think it was on Friday. They said that you'll be able to play a mission from the campaign in this beta. So yeah, you'll get a campaign preview. You'll be able to play a mission of the single player thing, which makes me like, it's like, why are they still calling this a beta test? This is a demo. Like if you're letting people have a preview of the campaign and like play a little bit of the multiplayer, this is clearly a demo. This is marketing. It's not really, I mean, whatever. I guess it's both. So this upcoming like big chunk, we'll be able to play the game, 3 multiplayer maps and a campaign preview. Then the weekend after that, so the last weekend in August is that one's going to be like the open beta, open to everyone. And that's going to be from August 28th all the way to September 1st, so right before my birthday. Also, you'll be able to download the Switch 2 version of Modern Warfare 4. Now, it's been a long time since there was a Call of Duty game that you could play online on a Nintendo system. I think it was the Wii. And there was like a Black Ops on it. And this has like mixed crossplay. So that's going to be cool. And I'm definitely going to download it on my Switch too, just to see what that's like. Especially like playing it like even in handheld mode, because I've never really got to play many Call of Duties handheld. That's the one thing that kind of sucks about the Steam Deck using SteamOS, which is Linux based. It doesn't work with most of the PC online games that have like that hardcore coded anti-cheat, especially the Call of Duty's anti-cheat, which is called the Ricochet, I believe. That only works on Windows systems. So yeah, if you've got like a Windows handheld system, it'll run Call of Duty, but it won't on a Steam Deck that has SteamOS. So I always thought that was a bummer that I couldn't just like play a portable version of Call of Duty. But the Switch 2 version will have cross-play and should be a full-fledged version of Call of Duty. I just wonder how that feels. That's kind of cool. That's kind of exciting. So I'm really looking forward to testing it out later on the Switch 2. The second weekend, they will increase the level cap to 40. So that still gives reason for people who played the first weekend to continue playing. There's going to be new maps and new multiplayer modes in an exclusive Warzone Resurgence preview, whatever that means. I think there's also like a different campaign mission that they'll give you a slice of as well. But yeah, once again, at this point, they should just call this some sort of demo, not a beta. But it is pretty sweet. I'm really like next weekend's going to be fun. Like I get to try 2 upcoming games. Another thing is I don't think the Duskbloods has a release date yet. I'm pretty certain it still doesn't have a release date besides 2026. And they once again did reiterate that it's definitely coming out by the end of this year, since I'm sure a lot of shareholders want to know. So that is happening. And playing this weekend's beta test and like seeing more footage of what the game is, and then probably I'm assuming the release date and pre-orders for that game will come out. I'm going to then decide if this game is for me. I know a lot of friends will be definitely, regardless, blind buying the Duskbloods because a lot of people are massive FromSoftware fans. I am not necessarily, like, I don't hate FromSoftware games. I just never really got into them. Like I never played Elden Ring. I never really, I didn't play too many of the Dark Souls games. And probably the most I've played of a FromSoftware game would be probably Bloodborne. So yeah, we'll just see. I'm glad that I'll get to play the demo and have like a taste to help me decide if I actually want to play this game or not. I hope so. I hope I like it because it gives me more reason to turn on my Switch too. I'm definitely will get Ocarina of Time remake though. It's like that's Ocarina of Time. That's one nostalgia bait kind of game for me. It's like I have good memories of playing the 64 version of it. So that's gonna happen for sure. So that'll be my one definite game that I'll be buying for the Switch 2 by the end of this year. But yeah, besides that, what do we have? We did have last week. Also last week, we did have some longer gameplay video of I want to say Stellar Blade, but it's Phantom Blade Zero. So they showed a really cool video of the game. That looks definitely good. Looking forward to that. And it looks like Sony is all in supporting this game, so it must be doing well. It is by a Chinese studio. I think the studio is called S Game. So that they also dated that game, and pre-orders went live for that game. So that game is locked in. Another October game, end of October 28th. Price came out. It's not like a higher price game. So it's the same price of well, actually no, Star Wars Galactic Racer is still a couple dollars cheaper, but it's not like right now full price games are like $95 Canadian, which is crazy. So this is an $80 Canadian game, which is, I'm glad that's an $80. I'm like looking at my pre-orders here and seeing which games have different prices for them. And like, first, like Silent Hill is like, I'm guessing it's going to be a short game, but that's only $67 Canadian, which is sweet. And I ended up picking it up for $50 in Fanatical. I did not pre-order Control because I couldn't find any discounts to it, but that's coming out. That's an $80 game. Onimusha is an expensive game. Capcom is really going for it. They know. I mean, Capcom games are value. That's a $95 Canadian game. I was able to get that quite cheap on. I used Fanatical for Steam code, and I paid $75 for that instead of $95, which is pretty awesome. Ace Combat 8 is also a very expensive game. It's $94 Canadian, but once again, I was able to get it on Fanatical for like $77, which is sweet. Star Wars Galactic Racer, $78. That's been looking really good. Once again, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan, especially like pod racing and stuff. Just doesn't mean anything to me. But this game looks really good, and it's made by like ex employees who worked on the Burnout series. So like, it just looks really awesome. Like it looks like well-made game. But yeah, that you can get it still cheap. But yeah, Phantom Blade, $80. There are no cheap codes, so. When the game has no like cheap CD keys that I can get off of a third party, I just wait. There's no reason to pre-order that in like otherwise just pre-order it the day before it comes out. So you still get the bonuses or what have you, the little trinkets, the little tchotchkes. But yeah, it's just like, once again, the quiet before the storm. Like, I don't want to just play your backlog. I've been loving Game Pass for having all these like games to have access to just play and stuff with whatever. I pay it with my MS points or whatever that I have. It's not expensive at all, especially if you're just getting PC Game Pass. But having that as the filler until September hits and like Wolverine and all these games come out, going to be really, really busy. That's why I don't want to start anything like big right now. And I'm really glad that they picked like the smart time to have all these beta tests, because it's the perfect timing where like people are just waiting for like the big games to drop in September. So we're eating good. We're eating really, really good. And it's just beginning. Let me just look up Gamescom to give you guys some information on that. So Gamescom, it's in Cologne, Germany. And looking at the website right now, you'd think that at a glance they would set it up so you can just see everything. But no, they don't do that. Program here, we'll click on this. It is, they don't give you the information about Gamescom. Maybe I should use AI. It starts, it's going to be the 30th. But the Gamescom online 25th. So I'm guessing there's going to be like a ONL. What does that mean? Opening night live. That's it. So that's going to be like the Jeff Keighley experience. That's the 25th. So next week is going to be showing, and they're going to like stream this. Who's the host? Is it still Keighley? Yeah, it's still Jeff Keighley. Jeff Keighley is our name to fame in Canada, and his dad, who passed away recently, but he's honored by Christopher Nolan because he was the CEO of IMAX. So what are they going to do on they're going to show what? What are they going to show? What you going to tell us what are you going to do? Nothing. So I don't know. Hopefully Gamescom has something. I mean, if Keighley's going to do an online show, there's going to be something. So, and that's not until the week after next. So that's why we are like the end of August there's still this E3 feeling to it. And I think like the cherry on top is having all these wonderful like beta tests to play. Like this weekend, awesome. Like this weekend, last weekend, Gears of War E-Day, awesome. And then next weekend, I've got Duskbloods and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4. Great. So keep on going. And then by that time, well, those 2 weekends we have Call of Duty, but then it pushes us into September, and that's when the games start dropping. So like we're all eating good. Anyways, we leave that on a positive note. With all this doom and gloom about the economy and how like prices of like gaming hardware is really expensive and stuff like that, I hope all of you have already systems that you were enthusiasts enough that you picked up systems before all these prices went up. Because I mean, it is already really late in the generation. So assuming a lot of people already have a system or something to game on, because you'll just have a lot of games to play, and we'll have tons of games to play throughout 2027 to weather the storm until we get to 2028, which in my mind, I'm very optimistic that that's going to be an awesome year, 2028. Hopefully 2027 we already know it's going to be an awesome year in gaming, because a lot of like the big end of this current generation titles will be dropping. So we'll be playing some awesome stuff. And then once we get to 2028, then that's going to be maybe a big exhale, relax, and check out all the new generation hardware that hopefully will be affordable by then. Anyways, I hope you all guys have a great week. Take care, and I will see you